Hello everyone. Today we're going to follow a deeply emotional story, a journey of sacrifice, long-buried secrets, and an unexpected shock that changes everything. This is the story of Han, a single mother who thought she understood everything about her life until a truth was revealed that turned her world upside down. Han grew up in a small house on the outskirts of the city. She lived with her mother, a gentle, humble woman. To Han, she was the entire world. There was no father, no siblings, but Han's childhood was still full of laughter, thanks to her mother's hard-working hands. As time passed, Han grew up and became a single mother at the age of 17. Life became even harder, but she never felt alone because her mother was always by her side. But one day, while Han was cleaning the house, her stepfather suddenly showed up and started harassing her, accusing her mother of giving all the money to Han. Her mother quickly stepped in to defend her, and the two of them got into an argument. Right then and there, her mother revealed the secret she had kept hidden for so long. Han, I'm sorry, but I'm not your biological mother. Like every other day, Han woke up early. She grabbed the broom and started sweeping the yard, tidying up the front porch, the place where she and her mother often had dinner together in the evenings. The morning sun was just beginning to rise, and the cheerful chirping of birds filled the trees in front of the house. It felt like the beginning of a peaceful new day. Suddenly, the screech of a car braking hard echoed outside the gate. It was Han's stepfather, a man she rarely wanted to face. Ever since he married her mother a few years ago, their family had been filled with tension and unrest. He stormed into the house, his face blazing with anger. Han, where's your mother? Where is she hiding? Han was stunned. I don't know. I didn't hide her. Don't play dumb. You think I don't know anything? She took all my money and gave it to you, didn't she? His voice rose, sharp and accusatory, as he stormed around the house, opening cabinets, rummaging through drawers, knocking things off the table. Han tried to stay calm. I don't know anything. Mom didn't tell me anything. But he didn't believe her. He was like a man possessed, slamming cabinet doors and kicking over a chair. I knew it. You two are in this together. The money I saved all these years, she gave it all to you. At that moment, Han's mother came rushing in. She froze at the sight of the ransacked house, her daughter standing frozen in shock. What are you doing? She shouted. I'm asking you, did you take my money? Did you give it all to Han? I didn't take anything from you. I haven't given Han a single penny. If you don't believe me, I can show you my savings book. But he wouldn't stop. You think I'm stupid? I know you've been hiding everything from me to support her. Their argument escalated rapidly. Then suddenly, the mother turned to her daughter. Her eyes were red, her body trembling. She hesitated, and finally she whispered, Han, I'm sorry. You're not my biological daughter. The room fell silent. Han could barely stand. The world around her felt like it was collapsing. No, no way. What are you saying? I'm your daughter. Her mother choked on her words. I know. It's so hard to say this, but it's time you knew the truth. I didn't give birth to you. I adopted you. years ago. Then, turning to her husband, she said firmly, "I need to talk to the girl alone. Go wait in the car. I'll speak with you later." He huffed and left, slamming the door behind him, leaving the space to Han and her mother. The room fell silent after that haunting sentence. "You're not my biological daughter." Han stood frozen, eyes red, her entire body trembling. "Mom, you're lying, right? How can I not be your daughter?" Her mother's eyes welled with tears. She gently took Han's hand. "No, I'm not lying, sweetheart. I feel so guilty for hiding this from you, but I can't keep it a secret anymore. It's the truth. If you're not my real mother, then why did you sacrifice so much for me all these years? Why are you telling me now? I don't understand." The woman choked back tears, looking directly into her daughter's eyes. "I know you've suffered so much already, but now is the time you need to know the truth about your roots. Maybe, just maybe, your birth parents can give you a better life. A life more complete than what I could ever provide." Han broke down, sobbing. She almost screamed through her tears. "But I don't want anyone else. All I know is you. You were the one who held me when I had a fever, who skipped meals so I could eat. They abandoned me once already. Who's to say they'll come back?" Her mother's hands trembled as she reached into her pocket and pulled out an old envelope. She carefully placed a faded photograph in Han's hands. "This is a photo of your father. They gave it to me when they entrusted you to me. Back then, your parents were very poor. They had to leave and work far away. They left you with me, promising to return once they were stable." Han stared at the photo, her eyes locked on the man in the image. "Why, Mom? Why are you only telling me this now?" Her voice cracked. "Because I was afraid you'd be hurt, afraid you'd think I lied to you, afraid that one day you'd leave me. But now you're grown up. I believe you're strong enough to face the truth. You deserve to know who you really are." Han wiped her tears and looked at her mother. "So, do you know where my real parents are now?" She gently shook her head. "I'm not sure. I only vaguely remember. Back then, they said they were going to work in Soktrang. But after that, nothing. No letters, no calls. I thought about looking for them many times, but I was scared that if they came back, you'd leave me. Mom." Han placed her hand over her mother's. "Even if I find them, you'll still be the one who raised me. To me, you are my mother, my only one." The air between them was thick with emotion, but strangely, there was a sense of relief. Like a thorn had been pulled from the heart, painful but healing. Han hugged her mother tightly. Her mother held her just as tight. "I don't blame you, Mom. I'm just hurting because I don't know who I am. But thank you. Thank you for keeping me that day." As the two embraced, the sound of a car horn came from the front gate. It was Han's stepfather. He had been waiting. His voice called out, "You coming or not? I've been standing out here forever. I have to go now, or it'll just stir up more trouble. But remember this, if you truly want to go find your birth parents, I'll go with you. I'll always be by your side, no matter who you are, no matter where you go." Han didn't say anything. She just nodded through her tears. Then suddenly, she threw herself into her mother's arms, sobbing like a child. "Mom, I'm so scared. I don't want to be away from you. I'm not ready." Her mother couldn't hold back her tears either. The same hands that had cooked, cleaned and held her all these years, now trembled as they embraced her tightly. "I know, sweetheart. I know it hurts, but I couldn't keep this from you forever. You have the right to know who you are." Time seemed to stand still. That embrace felt like it was holding back time itself, clinging to a love that was on the verge of change. After a long moment, her mother slowly stood up. From an old cloth bag, she took out a bundle of money, carefully tied with a rubber band. She took Han's hand and gently placed the bundle into her palm. "Take this, honey. Just a little money for the road. I don't have much, but this is all I can give you right now." Han shook her head repeatedly, eyes brimming with tears. "No, I won't take it, Mom. You keep it. Give it to Stepdad. I don't need anything. I just need you." Her mother's face grew stern, but her gaze remained soft. She firmly slipped the money into Han's pocket. "Please, just listen to me. Take it. I know you have your pride, but since I couldn't give you a proper identity, at least let me give you something to hold on to. This money isn't just for the journey. It's my love for you, and for Tom too." Han gripped the bundle tightly, hands trembling. "Mom, forgive me. If I'm selfish, if I can't accept the truth right away. I still want you to be my mother forever." She nodded gently, her voice held back by emotion. "You've done nothing wrong, sweetheart. If anyone needs to apologize, it's me. I brought you into my life. I loved you like my own child, but I didn't have the courage to tell you the truth sooner." The two of them looked at each other, their tears falling endlessly. Outside, the sound of Han's stepfather's motorbike echoed again, impatient. "Hurry up. What are you still doing in there? I've waited long enough." Her mother turned away, quickly wiped her tears, then hugged Han one last time, tightly, as if letting go meant losing her forever. "Live well, okay? Don't be afraid. Even if you never find them, I'll still be here, always your home." The gate closed behind her, and the sound of the motorbike faded into the distance. She stood frozen at the doorway, still clutching the old photo and the bundle of money her mother had pressed into her hand. The tears no longer came in torrents. Instead, they fell slowly, one drop at a time, heavy and salty, like a nameless grief. Han stepped back into the house. The glow of the setting sun streamed through the small window, casting her elongated shadow across the dusty floor. Then suddenly, as if her strength had given out, she dropped to her knees, collapsing in the middle of the room. Her whole body trembled from the choking sobs. Childhood memories rushed back. Those nights spent curled up beside her mother during thunder and lightning, the times she was scolded, but still came home to a hot meal. The poor Lunar New Year's, when her mother somehow managed to buy her a new shirt. All of it now felt shattered, yet more precious than ever before. Han clutched the photo of the father she had never met. Her eyes stared intently at the unfamiliar face, trying to find something, anything that resembled her. But it was no use. Her voice, hoarse and raw, broke the silence of the empty house. If they really were my parents, then why did they leave me? If they were poor, why didn't they come back? My adoptive mother gave me everything. And them, are they living some other life now, forgetting I even exist? She broke down once again, sobbing uncontrollably. In the faint light of the late afternoon streaming through the crack in the door, Han quietly packed her things. She pulled out an old, frayed basket from the corner of the room and began folding each piece of clothing neatly into it. The worn mat was also rolled up and placed aside. Her birth father's photo was carefully tucked away into her bag. She took the bundle of money her adoptive mother had given her earlier, folded it neatly, and placed it inside the basket. Han gently held her child close in her arms. Her voice was warm, trembling slightly, but filled with resolve. Tomorrow, you and I will leave this village, head to the city, to find your grandparents, Tom. Mommy is going to find her parents, my birth parents. I don't want you to grow up not knowing what family is, like I did. Tomorrow would mark a new journey for Han and her child. Will they be able to find their roots? Stay with us to find out in the next chapter.
Trong ánh nắng yếu ớt cuối ngày dội qua khe cửa, Hân lặng lẽ dọn đồ. Cô lấy từng góc phòng ra trước làn cũ, viền đã sờn, rồi bắt đầu xếp từng bộ quần áo gọn gàng trong phòng. Tấm chiếu cũ cũng được cuộn lại, đặt sang một bên. Bức tranh của cha ruột mình được cất cẩn thận trong túi. Cô lấy xấp tiền mẹ nuôi đã đưa trước đó, cẩn thận gấp lại rồi cho vào chiếc làn. Hân nhẹ nhàng ôm chặt lấy con vào lòng, giọng cô trầm ấm, run run nhưng đầy quyết tâm. Ngày mai mẹ con mình sẽ rời làng lên thành phố, đi tìm ông bà ngoại cho tôm. Mẹ sẽ đi tìm ông bà, tìm bố mẹ ruột của mẹ. Mẹ không muốn con lớn lên mà không biết gia đình là gì, giống như mẹ đã từng. Ngày mai sẽ là hành trình mới của hai mẹ con Hân. Liệu hai mẹ con có thể tìm thấy được cội nguồn của mình không? Cùng mình chờ đón phần sau nhé.